by day, but by night he leads a team of undercover agents recording the global car industry's every move.
Really? You'd never know to look at him.
Jason and his spies have got not one but two UK exclusives on the future of off-roaders.
I touched down in Malaga to drive the delayed but not forgotten Citroen C5.
And in our stylish hatchback-driven 100, the much-praised Alfa 147 faces tough competition from the Seat Leon and the Ford Focus.
Hatchbacks are hugely popular. They account for 1 in every 3 new cars sold in the UK. And given that kind of competition, manufacturers have got to come up with something pretty special to make their 5-door runaround stand out from the crowd. And they have. This week's Driven 100 cars are all sharp lookers and punchy performers. This is going to be one of the most closely fought Driven 100s ever.
I'm in the mood for love. Slip because you're near me. Funny but when you're near me.
There's a lot riding on the Alfa 147. Although Alfa sales are surging ahead, they've never had a hit in the hatchback market. In fact, they've made some real duffers in the past. But this time round, the 147 is based on the highly acclaimed and sultry 156 saloon, which isn't a bad place to start. They're planning a 5-door version and a 2-litre turbo hot hatchback, which incidentally is the basis of a new one-make racing series.
The Alfa is not the only car here with an impeccable pedigree. Underneath the Seat Leon is a Volkswagen Golf, the same but a bit bolder, a Perta bottom, a bit of Spanish bull maybe, but with a sub-Volkswagen price tag. Available only in 5-door, and for the same money you'd spend on the other 2 cars, you could opt for the 1.8-litre SE with lowered sports and plenty of extras. And like the Alfa, it won't be seen on every street corner.
Unlike the full Focus, which is everywhere now. Now, some say it's still a bold and stylish design. And since last year's price cuts, it's come down a healthy chunk in its retail price too. And there's so much choice. Ford call this Z-Tech model its retail car because it comes with all the bits that mainstream buyers like the alloy wheels and sports trim. But it's also available as a 3- and 5-door, and it comes with 4 different engine sizes.
To find out which of our 3 smartly designed hatchbacks is a cut above the rest, we'll be testing them on handling, space and looks.
But first, Agent Plato is opening his dossier on the off-roaders of the future.
Behind factory gates and at secret test facilities around the world, a 4x4 revolution is taking place, which will change the way we view off-road cars. And what's more, I've got the inside story. My spies have returned from an undercover operation in Germany with a British TV exclusive. Underneath the disguise, this is Volkswagen's first purpose-built off-roader. It's codenamed Colorado, which is a bit of a mystery, as Toyota already uses that name. Strip away the disguise, and our mock-up shows it looks like a pumped-up Passat. We've heard it's on sale next year with a huge range of engines. But why is it lurking at the Porsche factory gates? That's because it's not 1 car, but 2. Porsche are going to use it as the basis for their own super-fast off-roader, the Cayenne. Intriguing. VW and Porsche are suddenly trying to muscle in on the off-road market, but there's one very good reason why. The BMW X5. We tested it earlier in the series, and it makes pretty light work of a ploughed field, but on tarmac, well, it handles like a 5 Series with no rock and roll. Little wonder rival car designers are rushing back to the drawing board. Is Range Rover Granddaddy the luxury off-roader going to take this line down? I don't think so. Our spies have come in from the cold with exclusive footage of the new Range Rover winter testing. And look, it's bigger and brawnier. The shape's familiar, but word is the technology's all new. For the first time in 30 years, the Range Rover will have car-like fully independent suspension and use a modern aluminium space frame. But the future for the 4-wheel drive isn't just tall estate car shaped. Oh no, not everyone's going to stop there. Just take a look at this for a concept car. The Audi Steppenwolf. It could be the shape of things to come for the Audi A3. But look again. How about a 4-wheel drive coupe that lifts itself up for rocky slopes and drops down for motorways? And just a few weeks ago in America, Toyota unveiled its own concept, the rugged sports coupe. Imagine an affair between her and a RAV4. Well, this is their love child.
Off-road coupe? What next? Renault's already making an off-road MPV. The high-riding four-wheel drive city car can't be far away.
Whatever happens out there, you'll be the first to know.
Now it's back to the Driven 100 and our 3 sporty hatchbacks. This new generation of hatchbacks are going to have to do the weekly shopping and the school run, but which is going to be best when it comes to handling and performance?
But before we do the handling test, take a good look at these 3 cars and you decide which one you think is going to be the winner.
What's this, Jace? Audience participation? Right, the Alfa 147 looks tasty enough. Whoa, slow down. Then again, so does that Seat Leon. And a Full Focus isn't a bestseller in its class for nothing. Nah, it's no good. You're driving, you tell us.
OK, Mike, the Alfa 147.
Feels a bit sporty, do you think?
It does, and I think it looks really sporty. 0 to 60 in 10.6 seconds, so it's not blindingly fast.
No, 120 horsepower.
Yeah, 1.6 litre engine, of course, the famous Alfa twin spark engine, which basically means there's 2 spark plugs in every cylinder, which is meant to give you better performance and emissions.
You've got to rev the engine to get the best out of it. We're at medium revs now, 3-4 in 3rd gear coming up a hill.
It's really struggling up the
a little
hill.
bit. But if we go in the second, use the revs a bit, then it's quite good. Steering's quite light, but nevertheless it does do exactly what you want it to, and you get good feedback.
It's got a really firm ride. What that gives you is a really good communication with the road, and it feels very involved. You really feel like you're aware of what's going on underneath you.
Right, let's see how the Seat Leon compares.
It's got more power than the Alfa 147, in fact 5 horsepower to be exact. It's only half a second or so faster than 0 to 60, well not even half a second, is it?
Yeah, 0.3 of a second quicker. You'd expect for 1.8 it would be, you know, quite a big difference, and it's just not.
Yeah, but
it's a bit heavier,
it's 100 kilos heavier, yeah, so, you know, that kind of evens it out. It does handle well, it's comfortable, you get good feedback from the steering wheel.
I think the ride is excellent, actually. It feels really solid on the road.
Finally, how does the Ford Focus stand up to the new kids on the block?
Now this has got the least power of all 3, 99 horsepower. Not a lot, I hear you say, and yes, it is the slowest of the 3 too. It's only good for 114 miles an hour and about 11 seconds 0 to 60, so it's not a rocket. The steering, the way it turns in, the way it handles around the corners, it's very nice actually.
It does feel like a soft ride, but having said that, you still have some good connection with the road. So it's just not quite as rigid a ride as the other 2.
But yet it's firm enough to be fun.
No prizes for guessing that the Alfa 147 gets top spot for handling and performance, but there was surprisingly little in it. As for the Ford Focus and Seat Leon, well, we just couldn't split them, so they come in joint seconds.
For a great deal on one of our Driven 100 cars, visit the bargain price finder at 4car.co.uk, where we've got the best and most up-to-date prices available. But what if you can't stretch to a new hatchback?
Don't fret, there's plenty of great used metal out there like this little sculpture, a 1997 306 XSI. In 1997, Peugeot very kindly chucked in an ultrasonic alarm on the key fob. Now it's worth giving this a try a few times. Make sure all the doors open and close because these do get a little bit tired. Now while you're here, you might as well check to see if the alarm works. Like that. Up front, the 2-litre engine is nice and tough. However, lack of proper coolant could lead to problems. In fact, if the system's been drained, you could get a persistent airlock, and that could lead to overheating, and that's a problem with Peugeots. Now, the best way to check that you haven't blown your head gasket is to remove the top of the header tank, get your finger inside, dip it around, and make sure the water's not brown, sludgy, or oily, because you could be forking out for a new one, and believe you me, that costs a fair few quid. Now, right-hand drive cars is a bit of a problem because they've had to reroute the clutch cable and that took it right next to the exhaust. Now, because of the heat from the exhaust, the lubricant in the adjuster dries up and at best you could end up with a very stiff clutch pedal. At worst, the cable could wear out and snap, so make sure you give the pedal a good firm pump. And finally, be wary of warp discs. Because this is a high-performance car, the brakes are subject to a lot of heating up and cooling down. So on a test drive, lightly apply the brake pedal and feel for any vibration coming up through the steering wheel. If it's there, then you've got a problem. The Peugeot 306 XSI is a cracking little motor, certainly up there amongst the best when it comes to Peugeots. They're great fun and they last forever. Now, if you're going to buy one, make sure it's got a full service history, and if you can afford it, make sure you go for a facelifted model like this one. You'd never have thought you could have that much fun for £7 grand.
After the break, our sporty hatchbacks are loaded to capacity with bags, boxes and a very large reptile. And some outspoken design students give them a thorough examination to decide which one gets first-class honours for desirability.
He takes the high road in the new Citroen C5. First, it's the Driven 100 and loading.
Welcome back to the Driven 100. Now, the Alfa 147, Seat Leon and Ford Focus might be fun to drive in that weekend away, but let's not forget these cars are hatchbacks, and that means they've got to be practical.
So, in the unlikely event Jason and yours truly were to go away for the weekend, which of these cars would offer us the most space and comfort with all our kit on board?
Right, for this game, or test, we're going to see if we can fit all three of us into each of our cars with our mountain of luggage, folding down one of the split rear seats and keeping the parcel shelf in its original position. First up, it's the Alfa.
Right then, I'll get the seat.
Get the seat down.
I've got my boxing gloves to keep the boys in check, and Mike, I can't sleep without someone to cuddle, so we brought his crocodile.
Now, one of the problems with the 147 immediately is this very high loading area. You have to load everything in over the top. Now, this car is at the moment in 3-door form, however, it is in 5-door form later on this year, and it's exactly the same interior space. It won't go in, Joe.
What about underneath?
You're making a mountain out of a molehill.
I'm never really going away for the weekend with you.
Not with these.
That'll do.
Right, that goes in.
Put the crocodile up on top. Hang on a minute.
It might go in.
We've got a bag left over.
I don't think that's going to go
It
in.
won't go in because you have to...
No.
The parcel shelf won't
not
shut.
gonna go
It
in.
won't go in.
Oh dear.
So,
we can't go away in this car.
let's see what it's like inside for interior space.
Okay, we've got a suitcase next to me, but it's actually pretty roomy. I've got leg room, I've got headroom. The seats are quite comfortable. It's not so bad. I mean, I could do a few hours like this.
The 147 is great on passenger space, however, we've got a bag left behind, so let's try to focus.
Bear in mind, we've had some unfeasibly large boxes in the Focus. It's always been our benchmark for space, so I'm just wondering if we're going to get all this stuff
Right,
in.
get a big planky one in, Mike.
My big one. Oh, look, that goes sideways.
That opening is much wider than the...
It is
The
a bit
opening's
wider.
wider. You haven't got that great big sill, but I do think the 147's got a deeper boot to load down into. Do you want to know what's in here? Jason's mojo is in it. I bet we got it all in, haven't we?
Right then, let's have a look what this is like. Well, I mean, we've got all the bags in, but I will say I've got slightly less leg room, but probably only that much. My head's a little bit in the roof, although if I lean back there is a cutout.
I would be happier to leave your makeup stuff back at base and drive in the Alfa.
This time, the opposite to the 147. Not so great on passenger space, however, we did get all the bags in. Let's see if the Seat Leon suits the best of both worlds. Right, now with the Seat Leon, the bolster comes all the way forward. This comes down, nice big flat loading area, and it looks massive.
I reckon we can get both of them up there. Oh, this is
Oh, this is big.
huge,
Easy
enormous
peasy.
boot.
Look at the space in here.
Honest, if I turn that round,
There we go. Crop can go in there.
it's pretty good.
Good headroom.
Yeah.
Malays are in the front of the seat a little bit, but you've probably got it back.
I
haven't
have got it back quite
Yeah.
a long way, but
But it's comfortable. I've got a nice little armrest here.
all the bags are in.
Crocs
so
in.
if I was forced to go away with these two, I think we'd have to choose, surprisingly enough, the Seat Leon. Off we go.
Are we there yet? Oh, shut up.
I knew this was a bad idea.
Now, Penny meets the new face at Citroen.
Vanity can be a dangerous and a costly affliction. Of course you want to look your best, but at what price? Major cosmetic surgery has delayed the launch of Citroen's new C5, but finally, new nose in place, it hits the showrooms at the end of next week. But that's after all the razzmatazz of the new Ford Mondeo, the revamped Volkswagen Passat, and the all-new Renault Laguna. Looking your best and being fashionably late is one thing, but missing the party altogether is another. The C5 is going to have to make a spectacular entrance if it wants to get noticed amongst this crowd. Well, I don't fancy yours much. Despite all the tinkering, the C5 isn't going to be the belle of the ball, is it? But they do say that beauty is only skin deep, so what else has it got to offer? Well, someone at Citroen must have looked at the gadget-laden Renault Laguna and said, "Zut alors, we must have more!" They insisted on automatic headlights which come on as soon as it gets dark, tyre pressure sensors, rain-sensing wipers that automatically shut the windows and the sunroof when it rains, a stereo whose volume is controlled by your speed, so the faster you go, the louder it gets. And this car will automatically raise the temperature of the cabin at night. But this is the C5's cleverest party trick. And up, and down, and up, and down. Smaller Citroens may be conventional cars, but the C5 carries on the tradition of suspension with a mind of its own. Like the XM and the Xantia it replaces, the C5 uses Citroen's unique hydractive fluid suspension system. It lowers itself at motorway speeds to hug the road, and when it detects rougher ground, it automatically raises itself by 13 millimetres to protect its underbits when the going gets tough. To start, there are 6 engines, 4 petrol, 2 diesel, including this 2.2 litre HDI diesel I'm driving, priced at around £18,000. It's miles better than I was expecting. The gear change is easy, the brakes are excellent, and it's surprisingly quick through these corners. It's very torquey, which means it pulls brilliantly through all the rev range in all the gears, and that'll get you to 60 in 10 seconds. On the continent, a conventional boot is considered a bit posher, so it's styled to look like a 4-door saloon, even though it's actually a wide-mouthed hatchback. Inside, it's incredibly comfortable and hugely spacious. It's verging on MPV. The dashboard has been nicely thought through, and there's bags of storage areas, 22 to be precise. It's got a cavernous boot with no wheel arch intrusion and a huge flat loading area. And thanks to its clever self-levelling suspension, you can carry your DIY rubble to the tip in total serenity. So can the C5 pull off the grand entrance at the party when the Laguna and the Mondeo have already arrived, eaten all the canapes and swigged all the champagne? Well, quite frankly, yes it can. It's a cracking drive, and it offers more extras, more comfort and more space than any of its rivals. The Citroen C5 has dared to be different, but could you?
2 tests down and it's neck and neck in the Driven 100. Now it's desirability, and which car's got the most design appeal?
Can a family hatchback be a design icon? Well, nobody expected the Focus to be so radical, and now Alfa are forging ahead with their own bold style. Even Seat reckons they found their own face. So we've got some expert students from the product design course here at the University of Hertfordshire to give the cars a once-over. You ready, guys? Let's see what they think.
Will the Alfa come up trumps with the heritage card?
There's nothing actually linking the exterior of this car, which is a very beautiful car, to the interior. The interior looks cheap, it looks nasty, it looks horrible, it looks like it's thrown together. This has been designed with some style and some thought behind it.
That's absolutely ridiculous. Have you cut hold of there?
It's quite nicely detailed, isn't it? The whole thing, the steering wheel, like the focal point of it is basically they've spent some time, they've put some nice leather in there.
It's got insect-like qualities, like cockroach, you know, like the shell.
It's got a what? A cockroach quality.
Yeah. You know, like with the shell, these lines and the way it all sort of, it looks...
It integrates and
it looks like it's sort of overlapping and rugged.
So there you go, the Alfa 147 looks like a cockroach.
Does the Leon have Spanish passion, even in elephant grey?
Does anybody like the design of this car?
I like the way the lights... I like the way that all the lights are in one piece.
The other 2 cars have been sculpted and quite modernised, and this is basically quite retro and it's very square, not many curves on it. It just doesn't feel very nice.
Tell me about the design inside here.
Black and plastic.
It's not quite good. I think we need a great big sheet of A4 and we'll just do a couple of designs, send it to Seat and we'll be sorted.
Now is Ford's new edge styling still sharp?
The angular lines on the exterior help to give it a form, help to give it a speed. It makes it look like it's actually going to go somewhere.
They've got a real dynamic edge, and then they get to the back and it's real squat and it just sits on itself.
Some people would say this car's got a flat bottom. Would you agree?
Yeah.
I can see what you mean now, yeah.
Even like the colours and the lines, look at that.
This is much more lively, much more passion.
I bet it's just nice to touch as well. It might have some like little rubber.
Yeah. I like a little dashboard there to put your phone and little wallet.
You'd like a little, yeah, that's quite a good idea. Right, our design students have had to go around each of our cars, but it's time to see what they think. Right then, guys, gather round the car that you most desire.
Come on then,
quick
come
count.
on,
I reckon I'm going to win this one. Oh, blimey. You've run out of fingers, Jace. Come on in. 10.
I'm absolutely staggered because I have got 2 voters.
You've got 2 voters. I got 7, Jason.
Well, scale surprise, I've got 18.
So it appears that the most desirable car for this lot, our future generation of car designers, is the Alfa 147.
We'll be scoring our Driven 100 cars in a moment, but first we need your support. Log on to 4car.co.uk to join Driven's campaign to clear our streets of dumped cars. And while you're there, check out the brand new 4Car video and game zones.
It's time to find a winner in the Driven 100. Now, we're going to score our 3 cars in 4 different categories. We're going to look at how desirable, drivable, practical they are, but also how much they cost to own. Now, we can award up to 25 points in each of those categories, and we're going to start with the Alfa.
First, it's drivability and the Alfa 147.
Well, Jace, you put it round the Alpine course. What was it like?
Well, there wasn't a lot in it between the 3. However, on the limit, this was the best. Give it 18.
What about the Seat?
It's got fantastic road manners. It rides the ruts and bumps beautifully.
It's pretty good on the hill route. However, you know, on the limit, it did understeer quite a bit. But nevertheless, it was still a pretty good ride, I thought.
17.
And the Focus?
I'm not sure I liked it at first, but I have to say, it was a good drive. You know, once you get used to just the experience of sat up in the air.
So, same as the Seat, 17 points. Now, desirability and the Alfa Romeo. The students raved about the design, and so do we, 18. Seat wasn't so popular on the design front, 15. But the Focus still looks great, 16.
Right, practicality. The Alfa Romeo had less boot space. We left the bag behind, 17 points. The Seat had loads of space, 19 points. The Focus was a touch tight in the back, 18 points.
Finally, cost of ownership and the Alfa Romeo.
Cost of ownership is 42.25 pence per mile, and of course you're spending just over £14,000 to buy the Alfa in the first place, and that gives it a score of 19.
Next, the Seat Leon.
It's £13,745 to buy, and it costs less to run than the Alfa. It's 41.08 pence per mile, and that gives it a score of 19.
And finally, the Ford Focus.
Now, the Ford Focus we're testing here is £14,945 brand new, and 40.06 pence per mile, so it's the cheapest to run, and that gives it a score of 19.
Incredible, the most closely fought Driven 100 ever. The Seat Leon scored an excellent points. But so did the ever-popular Ford Focus, so they share second place. Which makes the stylish Alfa Romeo 147 our outright winner with a scorching 72 points.
Seat, a small Spanish company that 10 years ago had nothing to shout about, but now under that big VW umbrella,